Hi guys, Dandelion here. So we are back. This is part 3 of this 266th episode of The Simpsons that aired on September 29th, 2001, which is a 9/11/2001 in April, which is a 5. No, it's a 4. Yes, sorry, it's a 4. So 4 refers to the dome, refers to like the Earth life, that kind of thing. So in this moment at 2:34. Which is a 2-7, so it's kind of like a 9. So it would be like a 9:22 if you read it from left to right. Bart and Lisa are leaving the breakfast table because they found the breakfast yucky, and here we have a time on a clock, and I just wanted to show you. Not so groundbreaking, but I want to show it to you. So it looks like it's 19 till 7 or 6:41. Now this is a blind number. And this is the number of the field. So I think the gist here is that she is thinking that Homer is blind, that she's, he's ungrateful for the breakfast. He thinks he's tricking her, and she's not being tricked. Also, I noticed that if you add up these minutes, 360 plus 41 ends up to be 401, which is, and that is a few things. For one thing, if a website fails, you get a 401 message. I have a feeling that a 401 is a number of failure, and it's curious that people put their money in a 401. But I think, as many things with English, that we need to learn more about our language, English, and find out which words are actually frequency curses and which words are actually beneficial, because I think this is a gateway of failure. And Homer just went through this door, and this episode is about 3 different kinds of days, and I think Homer's day is going to be an epic of failure. It says in the thing he's going to cut his thumb off, and they're going to have it sewed back on. So I would say this is a gateway of failure, but let me just look at the wiki real quick. All right, well, a little bit of number theory. 401 is a prime number. I wish they would tell us which prime, because it wouldn't be so hard to stick that in here, would it? Or maybe they do. It's a sum of 7 consecutive primes, which makes it a tetrachini number. It's the sum of 9 consecutive primes, which makes it a Chen prime, I think, and it's an Einstein prime with no imaginary part. So, if you just memorize that sentence and just, pop that out at a party, you're going to sound really smart. I don't know if I can memorize that, but that's okay. Stammering's all right. So Lisa builds a grammar robot, and her father tests it, and he says, "Me love beer," and the robot corrects him, "I love beer," and then Homer decides to pour beer in here, and we have an error message. So let's take a look. Oh, we have an error message. I know we do. Let me go find it. Okay, so 4 plus 9 is 13, plus 8 is 21. So I think that's a reference to the 21st prime, which is kind of the end of creation of the star matrix 3773 mirror. Not sure, but since there's a 37 down here, and this would be the 73, because this is the 21st prime. That's my clue. I'm not sure. Just throwing that out there. Error is 74, July 4th, and a 444. It's a triple kill, trinity. And we have seen this also in the Pope numbers, the Pope's visit numbers. So here the characters say brownie a whole bunch of times, and that's a clue that is a good, or a statement that is worthy for you to either write down in gematria by hand or put through the gematria counter. And just to take a note, this is 319 here, which would be a 22. So that would mirror that 22. So it'd kind of be like a 44, which sort of matches that error we just saw. But brownie, it's interesting to note, has an 86, which has the killed, kind of the 86 when you 86 something or you stop it. But this has the number that also with the Pope visit that I've been working on, because today is 9/14. And the Pope's itinerary was just announced. So anyway, so this is a 618 and an 816. 816 is also the Dillon storm roof number, the 2 skeletons under the Hoover Dam, and the Georgia Guidestone numbers. And it's also phi forwards, and the backward of phi is 816, and I think that's the Bride of Christ number. So here again, it's mirrored 86. And then here, it's interesting because we have a 5-6 ratio with a 1 in the center, so that the whole thing adds up to the circle, which is kind of like, phi is like the circle plus the line. It makes me kind of wonder if this adds up to a 14, which then digitally roots to a 5. I wonder if, I'm starting to wonder now about different numbers that are different parts of phi, because obviously the 12 would be the outer circle or the round table or the zodiac, right? So just an emerging theory right there. All right, well, you really can't make this up. Okay, so he goes left, right, left, right. He sticks his hand in front of the knife, and look at the clock right here, 3:22. Skull and bones, anybody? Okay, so also the number of brownie just kind of warned you that somebody was going to get hurt right here. Something was going to get cut, and basically it was his thumb that got cut. All right, so at the moment where he gets cut, I don't know why he got it. It makes me laugh every time. It's because he's so stupid and he deserves it, I guess. Okay, we have a 2332 mirror, and this again mirrors the 911 numbers that were all over this episode, plus that this is the 266th episode. So I guess he's fooling around with the brownies, and I should also look at the number of knife, but he's fooling around with the brownies, which is an 86, and he ends up getting hurt. Okay, so the 24th second is the blood spurting scene. This together, of course, adds up to a 9. So it would be this would be a 9, possibly 22 over here. I'm just trying to understand how they timed this, because it looks like when you see the skull and bones happening with an injury, I just feel like we should stop and pay attention to this. So the 25 second is where you see the severed thumb on top of the brownie. Okay, so this would be, so I don't know if this has anything to do with not this coming September and the Pope visiting, but if it does, this would be the day where he's in New York, September 25th, I believe. Because now the interesting thing about this is a 37 mirror with over here, leaving the 22 in the center. So it's like a 10. Kind of reminds me of a Rockefeller number, I'm not sure. So they're trying to grab the thumb to take him to the doctor to have it reattached. The dog has grabbed the thumb and now we have a Freemason tile shot with the dog eating the thumb. I feel like this has to do with Lupercalia. I'm not sure exactly how this is all going to work together, but let me take a look at this. So the 340 in Jewish gematria equals helicopter, Kissinger, and these are 11666s. So they have different English and simple gematria ties. There aren't any that are a full match. But if we come down here for the English and the simple, we have Israel, Thelema, Zion, 0, American, Beatles, Chosen, Jubilee. So you can kind of see how this might fit into something being cut off. Something's getting cut off the hand. I'm not, vehicle. Moriah is the mountain, very important mountain that they fight over. So when you're decoding, this is also something to try. Dog eats thumb. And then you have tragedy, excitement. It's interesting how this works. In the simple, we have Prince Harry, Thelemic Order, Key of David, Golden Gate Bridge. That's not spelled right. Tiger Woods, Old Lang Syne, Wall Street, God of Baphomet, terrorism. So right here, Simpson says he says drop the thumb. So I put that in here. And while I was scrolling down, I was thinking, these guys graduated from Harvard. What if The Simpsons is a social experiment? Because the reason why I got so interested in The Simpsons is because I was watching the W7 channel where he shows that Simpsons are predictive. Very, and I knew that, but he showed that on a recent episode, he showed that there was a flag of a country that didn't even exist, and then it came into being. And so then I thought, what if they are influencing people in a quantum mechanical way basically taking your quantum vote, and what if they are actually creating reality through the Simpsons, and what if they're studying that at Harvard? I'm just like, there's a what if. So drop the thumb equals Yeshua Hamasiash, and I think this is one of the original names of Yahshua. I like to spell it a little different, but it's basically a phonetic spelling of Jewish. Queen Elizabeth, David Rockefeller, Miley Cyrus. I mean, these can't be coincidences, right? Fibonacci curves. 555. Oh, 555. So Marge calls 911 and he's not helpful, so she gives him a fake address, 123 Fake Street. And it's interesting because that's what the newspaper said, right? 123, it had a 123 and a 321 on it. And it had to do with the spring equinox. And sure enough, 123 Fake Street equals a Rockefeller number in the simple gematria. Osama bin Laden, Christmas Apollyon president, or Rockefeller Reagan. So, all right, just interesting. So she gives him a fake address, and the fake address equals all of this, and Adolf Hitler. So in this scene, this character, whose name I can't remember, just threw in the Harry Potter book into the fire after saying they're all going to go straight to hell. And then the dog is racing through, and we have a clock. So let's take a look at the clock. So I think that's a 13. I think it's 7:50. And then also, let's notice we have a 444 on the clock. So it just occurred to me that book burning is a BB, which is a 1313. So it's interesting. That might be why they have the 13 on the clock, to call attention to the BB. And to tell you that B's can be 2s and they can also be 13s, because if you smash a 13 together, it looks like a B. And there's also an Illuminati card about Bob having to do with a 13013 that kind of tells you the same thing. So they, on the way to the hospital, they hit an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of guy in a red Ferrari, and he says, "I had to do awful things to pay for her," and he takes out a golf club. And I don't think we're supposed to look at this watch. It's 2 sideways, so I'm going to skip that. So this is another 22 on the clock, and it shows the lowest form of human, basically. While he's beating up their car, they slip into his car, and then the clock shows a 7-7. So this is the way. That's the divergent 7s. It shows you that you have choice in any manner, All right. Well, the kids are home and playing patriotic songs with the trumpet. So I'm gonna finish this up, and I will continue on with this episode 266 to see what we can find. Looks like I don't know if you can hear that. Looks like a very strange day indeed. All right, talk to you soon. Bye bye.